Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Sharif, and I'm the founder of Capsule Hack. So thankful to have you here. And at first, I just want to congratulate all of our project leads for submitting your ideas, getting accepted, and hacking with us over these next 2 days. Given the nature that we are of an international global event and our project leads are all over the world, we wanted to record a very brief onboarding session that we usually conduct in person with our project leads prior to the event. You now represent the work happening at Capsule. You are also part of this amazing experience. And so with that, we have higher expectations for how you conduct yourself, how you lead projects, how you work with other team members over the next 2 days. In this very brief video, we will cover Capsule, we will cover problem scoping, really understanding problem statements and how to scope together and build a hackathon project. We'll also talk about how do you lead a virtual team and look at logistics. And the last thing that we'll cover is about leading with empathy. So again, it's about putting people first, understanding our code of conduct throughout this entire experience. I've stated here just 6 learning goals that we will cover in this very brief video. And again, if you have questions at the end, feel free to send your questions contacts, email hack@experimentalcivics.io, or ping the team on Slack in our help desk channel. So this is me. I've traveled the world. I love the planet that we live on. Of course, I'm a huge advocate for wildlife and nature, and that's why I wanted to throw this event together. It's been a 14-month sprint, actually a little bit longer than that, to build this idea. And it came from my frustration of wanting to see more, wanting to do more, given that we have 12 years left at a minimum to make some significant changes in the way that we live our lives to combat our climate crisis. But I want to start with this quote, and it reads, "Exploration is the engine that drives innovation. Innovation drives economic growth. So let's all go exploring." And this is by Edith, and it really resonated with me because as a project lead, you are an explorer. You are exploring a solution. You are exploring an innovation that can have impact. So hopefully that resonates with you, and let's keep that at the heart of what we're doing over the next 2 days. Capsule is a 2-day hackathon and conference being hosted on the 20th and 21st. And project submission actually will stay open right through Saturday on June 20th, because we want to encourage folks to think of project ideas. And if folks have them on the fly, we'll take it. Originally, we were a in-person event with hopefully 4,000 attendees. Given COVID, given the massive pivot that we've had to make these last 100 days, we're no longer that. We're 100% virtual, and the goal is really having 500 to maybe 1,000 folks come out online to join us for these 2 days. So we have 6 challenges at our event, and all of those fall under the intersection with the environment. So we have art, cities, education, health, energy, and food. Every project fits under one of these 6. And we've kept them to be extremely broad because we wanted to capture everyone's imagination and really make sure that we could support as many projects as we could. So for example, fast fashion projects fit under art. We have some COVID projects, especially with the wildlife source and tie there in health. We have conservation projects that actually merge between education and cities. We have sustainable food projects, and all of those obviously fit under food. And we have energy projects as well. So how we're going to help with team formation over the event is that we will call out each of the challenges in our welcome session. What we'll also do is post all of these different challenges in our Slack channel. And we will have project leads under those challenges, comment on those threads, share your name, introduce yourself, Post your project title, post your project summary, and what you're looking for or what you're missing. What we'll also do is have hackers comment on those same threads. So for example, my name is Joe. I'm leading a project in health. I see the graphic in Slack Saturday morning or Friday evening, depending on when we launch. And I comment, my name is Joe. This is my project title. This is what I'm working on. In that same thread, there might be 6 other people who ping me, hey Joe, just saw your health project. How can we help? And that's how team formation and really engaging across the live stream and Slack is going to help you find team members and bring your project together. We are part of an innovation pipeline. Of course, this has seen many changes and is still given the world that we're currently in. But I did want to go over the quick 6 steps that actually are part of any innovation pipeline. You have the sourcing of the idea. You have the second part, which is about curating the idea, testing it, challenging it, looking at all your assumptions, refining your problem statement. This third aspect is exploring solutions. You might have 10 solutions for one problem statement, and that is excellent. In terms of what comes after the event, we usually enter an incubation period. So we go out there and we test it again with users, with other policy folks, with field experts, whoever it might be, to help you strengthen and refine your idea and your solution even more. Afterwards, you go through an implementation step. So implementing your solution to organizations and places outside of your incubator network. And then we start getting to a place of normalization. Now, it's a common thing, it's a common service, it's a common product, and it's been normalized by many other people beyond your incubation network, your implementation network, but really at a very large global scale. It is highly unlikely that our projects will reach normalization by June 2021. However, in the innovation realm, things have sped up due to COVID-19. So who knows? Sky is the limit and the world is ever changing. So we could have impact by June 2021, which is extremely exciting. It is possible. Everything is. So let's cover what is a problem statement. So a problem statement has 3 different components: the who, the what, and the why. And I want to share with you the template that we use and have seen success. So I'll read this out, and this was developed by Dan Brown. Definitely Google him, amazing. And the template reads, a user role who feels a negative feeling about a reason, needs to take a step, but faces an obstacle. And the best way to show you this template is to create our own. So I've created several, and I've used the topic of the coronavirus just because it is the most relevant topic that has impacted all of our lives. So here's the first statement. An extroverted team leader who feels depression about not connecting with their team members needs to build up morale and stay positive, but faces social distancing. So when you look at this statement, I've highlighted the emotional response. What's happening? What is this person feeling? And you can see here that those small little details actually have a huge impact into the solution that I'm going to craft for this user. So they're an extrovert, they're feeling depressed about not being able to connect, they want to build up morale and stay positive, but they're struggling given social distancing. My quick solution for this would be a gamified play type of meeting or engagement. So whether that's everybody virtually playing a game together or doing some type of interactive activity, it's about the team leader feeling connected. Bringing in play is a very delightful, positive experience. It increases morale, and it tackles this feeling of loneliness and depression that this person is feeling. In our next problem statement, you can see here an extroverted team leader who feels anxiety about not connecting with their team members needs to stay productive, but faces social distancing. So you can see here that the emotion, again, is highlighted. And this, again, changes our solution. For this particular problem statement, I would suggest a task management tool like Asana, Monday.com, something that shows which team members are doing what, when they're completing tasks. It reduces the anxiety, increases transparency, increases clarity, and honestly, increases trust. And that's where those emotions of anxiety are tackled with that particular solution. The third here, we've changed the user completely, is an emergency room nurse who feels overwhelmed about product stocked, needs to order more, but faces budget cuts and a shipping freeze. So with this particular statement, you can see again that the emotion of being overwhelmed means that this person needs something, maybe a dashboard or a tool that very easily shows what products need to be ordered, which ones are currently unable to be shipped out, perhaps they're being manufactured in another country heavily impacted by COVID, where the budget line items really matter, and visually being able to kind of see that decreases what's going on in this person's brain. They might have to remember every single product as things come up. So having a dashboard or a tool where they can immediately go in, or even on an app, quickly state what they actually need and their units and how much, I think could really impact this nurse who, of course, wants to focus on the patients versus being overwhelmed about the product stock. So, quick question for you. Let's pause. What's missing from a problem statement? Take a second to think about that. Hopefully you figured it out, but the solution is always missing from the problem statement. In all three problem statements and the template that I shared with you, the solution is not present. And the reason is that you need a strong problem statement to bring a team together, to understand what you're trying to solve, keep and check your assumptions on the users that you're serving, but it keeps you focused on serving and tackling the emotions, the impact, everything else around your user, keeping it very human-centric. Sometimes the solution that you think you need, until you meet with other experts and diverse opinions, might not actually be the best solution. So always keep an open mind. So what is a hackable problem statement? We want to keep things bite-sized. So keep a reasonable scope. I would love to solve poverty and world hunger overnight, but that is not something that will happen in 2 days. So what is a reasonable scope? Well, it might be, how do I feed and serve those that need the food most in my local community? How can I make sure that food waste from restaurants or donations are arriving at local shelters and food banks in an efficient way that doesn't spoil the food? That's just one example. You want to have clarity with the user journey. So again, I keep saying human-centric, focus on the people. Are you actually helping that user, or are you just creating something that you think is cool, but you've never actually talked to someone that you're trying to serve? So just keep that in mind. The third is again about that empathy and design. We've highlighted emotions in all of our problem statements. I encourage you to do the same. Fourth is having that dream team, which I'll share a couple quick examples with you of how do you have a very strong team in your hackathon. And the fifth is about perspective. I've shared with you already, keep an open mind. What you're thinking as a solution might not be the best solution, and there's a better one out there. So what is an example of a dream team? Here I've listed several roles that make up a dream team. Different skills, different experience levels, different perspectives, different things that these folks can bring to a project. You have to think of them as a mini startup for your hackathon. For the coronavirus example, again, I'm sharing an example of a very strong dream team and then what a poor team will look like. And the reason why that team is poor is because they're in the same field, they have the same somewhat experience and perspective. All of these folks are either living in an ER environment or in a frontline environment. So what you're really trying to do is, while they might be different roles all in the same space, you really want to be much broader than you even think that you need to be. So again, keep a very open mind, bring everybody in. So what is the Capsule Hack environment? So I'm going to exit out of this screen and I'm going to jump to our website home screen to show you the environment. So this is the home page. You're going to come in and log in to the dashboard. You will use the password that is given out in the email. Once you come into the dashboard, you can see here on the right are the flags of the country. You can see here the 6 challenges at the top, and then interest tags specifically right underneath. This is the introduction. You can see here links to the webinars, our social sessions, the hackathon schedule, frequently asked questions page, the mentor roster, the link right into Slack, and then the most important one for you, which is the final reports. So underneath, you can see here projects. And so we'll open up one of these. So you've got here the project title, the read more, the challenge that it is under, and the country that it's in. So at any point, if you want to see all of the projects that are coming from the United Kingdom, you can click on this. You can also click on the flag. If we go ahead and do that, it will show that there are 3 projects that have been submitted from the UK. So now let's read more. What's in your project? So you've got the summary at the top, which was part of your submission. You've got the UN goals that you're aligned with, the skills, the resources that you need, your post-capsule goals, and your project motivation. You've got your project lead, and you've got team members. When you see this link at the top, your private team Google Hangout, you can click on this and enter your private meet. So coming back, these links are going to be live Friday evening. And we've done that in a way that basically caters to the space that you'll need over the weekend. So coming back to the homepage, coming back to our dashboard, again, if you want to click on a challenge, let's say energy or educational art, you can see here again all the projects that are populated that are related to energy. If this is incorrect, please let us know. When you come to the hackathon schedule, you'll be able to see the full 2-day schedule and log in at any point to any of these particular sessions. So if I wanted to go to NASA, I would click here and watch the live stream of NASA. Eventually, after all of these sessions, we'll have a video link as well. So hackers are welcome to join any of these sessions. So some of your team members might step out, and that's totally fine. This is not populated currently, but when you click on this by Friday evening Central, we'll have this filled out. But this is the mentor roster. So if you're looking for a mentor for your project, you can come here, check it out, and find a mentor who can maybe help you triple check their availability so that they hopefully are around when you need them over the weekend. If it is an international time zone issue, feel free to send them a direct message and they will respond when they're able. So let us now hop over to Slack. So this is the Capsule Hack virtual environment. Everyone here can see the general channel. Of course, I have some more populated, but this is where we will be populating those challenge images. So go ahead and introduce yourself on this channel and know that during the welcome, you will be able to chime in, share your project statement, and all of that jazz. In terms of direct messages, you can create a conversation with your entire team members. So as everyone is onboarded and brought to Slack, go ahead and type in all of their names and you should be able to create a direct message. With Slack, we also have availability and capability to do video calls to up to 15 people all at once. So feel free to use that or use the Google Hangout link that's been provided that is unique to your particular team. So again, team formation will happen in the general channel when we have the challenge images set up, and you will feel free to chime in and post and share your needs in these channels. Take note of Hackathon resources. This is a channel that we will continue to populate resources that will be useful to you. So for example, I started to post links to different sites that can be used for design thinking, for team formation, building full apps, for example, without any coding. So you can actually start building out your prototypes very, very quickly over the 2 days. Okay, so coming back to our presentation, quickly want to talk about virtual team dynamics. So some of you will be working with team members that you know. Most of you will be working with people from all over the world that you haven't met yet, which is great because they're new team members and hopefully new friends. Here are 6 quick tips. 1, over communicate. When it comes to virtual environments, over communicating on Slack, making sure that all team members know where the team is meeting, whether it's on Slack, in your Slack group chat, in your Google Hangout. Please let people know where they need to go so that, you know, they know how to meet with you, connect with you, and ultimately hack on your project. So a lot of this is, again, going to be on you to reach out, state your needs, connect with hackers, and make sure that they're able to help you on your project. 2 is all about transparency. So working in the open, where you are throughout the entire 2 days. There might be hackers that join late, just given also time zones. They might be joining maybe a day into your project. But if you meet them, definitely be transparent about what your ask is and what they are able to do. 3rd is having, again, clarity, clear problem statements, clear onboarding, so people that are working on your team can be onboarded very quickly and align with your mission and your vision for the 2 days. Cultural barriers. Let's lead with empathy here. We're all coming from very different cultures, backgrounds, experiences. Some folks have not even attended a hackathon before. So let's be mindful that there might be some language barriers as well when it comes to this. There's a channel called Translation Aid. If you are working with international guests and English or is not their first language, we have a translation aid with some translators available over the 2 days to help you. There might be certain words in certain languages that we can help you translate so that you're able to communicate effectively. 5, experience levels. This is anyone can hack, open, fair, inclusive environment. So you might have some beginner developers that have just graduated college or still at college. You might even have some high schoolers on your team. But then on the other spectrum, you might have some retired or very seasoned professionals on your team. So keep that in mind. Everyone is learning, everyone learns together, and continue to foster that environment. And the last part is heavily critical here. Keep it fun. Everything about your project, this is about engaging, learning, growing together. Other folks might have these great ideas in terms of building your solution. Keep an open mind and know as the project lead, you're responsible for keeping it fun. We do our part as organizers, and we expect that of our project leads as well. And the last thing that we'll end on is our code of conduct. If you have not read this document, it is on the registration page on the website. Throughout the 2 days, we will repeatedly share this document. The 4 big components of our code of conduct are about channeling your empathy, being respectful, raising your own mindfulness and awareness of others, and being in the spirit of innovation, which is all about building and doing things together and collaboration. If there is a violation at any point, if a team member feels that you or another member has violated this code of conduct, we do have a very extreme escalation process, and we have a no tolerance policy. So this team member might be removed. There might be several discussions on what happened from different perspectives, and we will do our best to resolve the issue very quickly. But we have a no tolerance policy at our events, and we'll continue to hold that up. Be very mindful of this code of conduct. Please read this document. You are also going to help us as being the liaisons of driving this code of conduct and bringing it to life within your teams. So with that, thank you for your time. Hopefully this presentation was helpful to you. As I said at the beginning of the presentation, if you have questions, email capsulehack@experimentalcivics.io or talk with one of your main staff contacts so that we can help you. Thanks so much.